Hello, it's Key Creative Studio, Master Drawing Japan, and let's make a point to draw every day, right? So, I learned something recently about drawing animals, and I wanted to share that with you. Um, One of the really good ways to like understand like animal anatomy is also to like understand like basic like human anatomy as well. And actually, for the most part, humans and like let's say like four-legged animals generally have like the same bones and like the same muscles. Of course, they evolve differently according to evolution and of course like evolutionary needs. But the big difference actually like between let's say um, um, humans and and other animals is that humans, or should I say the family of primates, are the only ones that have clavicles. And so pretty much like that collarbone, like what I'm laying in here, right? um, this is something that actually like only members of the primate family have. um, Cats don't have it. Horses don't have it. But we do. And the clavicle is a very useful and popular landmark for for laying in the figure, right? Particularly like when you're drawing things um, in like in the upper part of the body, and like you want to get your understanding of like the chest muscles, and like of course like the deltoid, and all that stuff, right? So um, what's like I'm talking and drawing at the same time. And technically, this is something I don't like. I really don't like doing because technically when you're drawing, you should be drawing, right? Not your mind shouldn't be on other things. Anyway, not to complain, not to complain too much, but basically, this is something that you should like keep in mind, like when you're drawing the figure, okay, um, and you're setting out like to draw animals, which is like this relationship of like the clavicle to like the humerus, which is here, and of course you can't I can't show it to you right now, but in the back, which is like the scapula, that triangular bone in the back, and like we all understand this as being they call it the shoulder girdle. Okay, so anyway, my overall point is that this major landmark here, this clavicle, right? You see it all the time, in sculptures, illustrations, and things like that. Particularly if the figure is well muscled, it's or if the figure is very slender, it's very easy to see. Okay, all right. So I just wanted to throw that in there like really quick. All right, because I want to move into um, I want to move into like how does this like relate to animals and whatnot, right? So one of the things that I learned recently, in terms of like when you draw animals, and by the way, yeah, I mean it's okay. You can use your understanding of human anatomy to inform your understanding of animal anatomy, but you got to be careful. You really got to be careful, because not all things connect the same way. For example, like you have like the trapezius like fitting in here, So this part of the shoulder girdle, which like feeds into like the deltoid, and then the deltoid, of course, is on top of like the pectoralis muscle here, like that, right? So to a certain degree, like that relationship is a little bit similar, but I'm sorry, like with animals, but there's a major difference. Okay, so let's say if I had I don't know, a cat, for example, right? Let me do it like this. Just put this just very simple and very rough. Okay, because I just want to get the basic idea down here. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's say it's some kind of cat. Okay. Here's the neck, like this here. I'm doing this in a little bit of a abbreviated way, so cut me a little slack. Okay. All right. Large masseter muscles that cats have because they need to bite down on their prey, and so that needs to be actually kind of strong, actually. Okay. All right. Oh, and sorry, and the ears, basically. All right here. Okay. It looks kind of cute, but anyway, I'm trying to make them. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. This guy's gonna be a bit of a cute one, and I don't have time to make a badass one right now. Okay. All right. So basically, my point is that if the neck muscle is here, right? All right. So that area, like which we call like um, the trapezius, they don't exactly have the trapezius set up like us. However, there's a muscle that comes from behind the ear that we have here, which is called like the sternocleidomastoid muscle, which like comes behind here and it actually goes into the clavicle, right? Um, for animals, actually, that muscle comes like from behind the ear, and actually that feeds into where this bone would be, which we would know as the humerus, actually feeds into there like that. So because they don't have a clavicle, right? So it doesn't fit into the clavicle. So that muscle actually, yeah, it goes down into here like that. Now, my point overall is like, you don't have to draw it all the time. That's not the point, because unless you're doing a book for like anatomy study or something like that, no one is particularly interested in looking at anatomy, right? And the anatomy is really just there to help to help support your the gesture that you're doing. The anatomy is not a story, right? You know, so basically, it's just there like to help support your story. That's all. Okay, put this here and tail like that. Okay, all right. Also, yeah, they cats do have something um, kind of like similar to like a pectoralis muscle, which is coming in here like that, like kind of like this sort of thing. Okay, So, yeah. Sorry, it's more like it's Tony the Tiger or something like that. Trying to make a. Oh, okay, that's a little bit. That looks a little more serious. Yeah, my old drawing instructors always accused me of making my. Whenever I drew people, he said, "You always make them look nice," and I don't know, what that's coming from. All right, so this is just a basic, a big rough here. So I'm just saying, um, two things. It's like, yeah, this muscle comes down and it fits into here like that, into like where the humerus would be. Okay. Another thing I also wanted to talk to you about is, okay, look, your understanding of anatomy is really just to help like support your drawing, right? So, you don't have to be a slave to it. You're supposed to like use the anatomy as a tool to help tell your story. That being said, I have seen like a lot of artists, really like take liberties in terms of like what the anatomy is. And sometimes, they really, they go a little bit too far. Okay. For example, okay, actually, I think I've showed you guys this book before. This is Atlas of Animal Anatomy. It's a great book. It's really, really great book. So this relationship here, of like, see that the scapula here, and then that feeds into the humerus, and then that feeds into which essentially would be the ulna and the radius, and then like this bottom part would be like the hands. Of course, this is, for a hooved animal. Cats and dogs will be a little bit different, at least like down this area, but this relationship doesn't really change that much, right? You have like the scapula going, like pushing forward, connecting with the humerus, and then coming back like that, and then hooking into the supporting the supporting bone here. Okay. You know what? Let me find a cat here for a second. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay. So here's a cat, right? Or a lion, actually, right? So I hope you can see this. So like this relationship, right? Let me show you this one first. So scapula, right? Pushing forward, connecting into the humerus, right? Connecting into the ulna and the radius, and then again into um, uh, the carpal and metacarpal bones of the wrist and the paw, right? My hero, like Frank Frazetta, and I've seen some other artists too, they'll treat this upper musculature here almost like a human arm, right? So actually they'll turn this like into, like, say, a deltoid, like your shoulder muscle, right? Which is completely wrong, because actually, again, the scapula, even though has a support function, both like in four-legged animals and two-legged animals. On primates, the scapula is in the back. Animals that walk on four legs, it tends to be in front. So it's not going to look the same. So, you know, basically you have this, right? And they do have something that looks, resembles, let's say, like a tricep here, but this, this muscle here, right, which I guess, which kind of, you can argue it looks kind of like a deltoid in a way. It's not quite exactly the same. Like, it's not formed exactly the same like it is in us. So